So this was a pop quiz which was related to bonding and molds. This was a pop quiz too related to the topic. So first we'll start with the discussion of the pop quiz. So in question 1, potassium is a group 1 element. Name and describe the bonding in potassium. So what type of bonding is there in potassium? It will have metallic. Because all metals have metallic bond. And how we explain the metallic bonding? It is actually the electrostatic. Electrostatic means the force between the charges, like positive and negative charge, or negative and negative charge, or positive and positive charge. They all have electrostatic force. So the electrostatic force between the lattice of positive ion and delocalized electron. So electrostatic force between the lattice of positive ions and the delocalized electron, that is known as the metallic bond. One mark, how the marks are distributed here. What is the distribution of the mark? How you will score 4 marks here. 1 mark when you mention metallic bonding. 1 mark for mentioning electrostatic force. 1 mark is for mentioning lattice of the positive ion. And 1 mark is for mentioning the free or the delocalized electrons. So that's how the marks are distributed. Next, in question 2, potassium combines with sulfur to form an ionic compound, potassium sulfide. Give 2 physical properties of ionic compounds. So you have to write a journal properties of ionic compound. What are the journal properties of ionic compound? Ionic compounds, because of the strong electrostatic attraction between the positive and negative ions on a giant structure, they have a high melting point. If you mention melting point, or second point you mention high boiling point, that is considered as 1 point, because it is obvious that if a substance is having a high melting point, it will have a high boiling point. So if you write high melting point in the first and the high boiling point in the second, you will score only 1 mark. The second thing, you can mention the conduction, like it can conduct electricity in molten or aqueous. So it can conduct electricity in molten or in aqueous state. Then we have to complete dot and cross diagram to show the electron arrangement and the charges of ions in potassium sulfide. So first, the simple way to draw the structure, first you should write the electronic configuration for each of the element. Like for a potassium atom, the configuration, potassium is having 19 electron, atomic number is 19. So it will be 2, 8, 8, and 1. Where sulfur is 16, so it will be 2, 8, and 6. So here we have 2, 8. Then actually there's another shell which is missing here. We have to draw that shell. And then the 4th shell is there. Same thing, there's a 3rd shell, and then there will be a 4th shell. So it will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and then there's 1. Same way, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and there's 1. I'm first drawing the atoms to explain you the idea how the structure will look like. This is not the final structure. For sulfur, it is 2, 8, and 6. So means we have to draw another shell for the sulfur. And this is called a dot and cross diagram. So if for first one element, you're using the dots, the other element, you should use a cross. What happens? The metals have a tendency to lose electron. Metals donate electron. So this electron transfer to sulfur. Same way, this electron transfer to sulfur. So as these electrons transfer to sulfur, each potassium is losing one electron. So you can say 1 plus or plus 1, and each sulfur gains 2 electrons. So you can say minus 2 or 2 minus. So potassium sulfide is having a potassium ion, 2 potassium ions, and 1 sulfur ion. So this is a dot and a cross diagram for potassium sulfide. Is it clear? Any doubt in this? The dot and the cross diagram for potassium sulfide. The next question is related to the moles. Whenever you're solving a question related to the moles, it's normally a sequence is there. The first part, usually we use a formula. The second part, we use a ratio. And the third part, again, we use a formula. So calculate the number of the moles of potassium added. We have 2.34 grams of a potassium. So how to work out the moles? Moles equal mass in gram divided by the molar mass. So mass in gram is given, which is 2.34. And what about the molar mass of a potassium? Because potassium, when you check the periodic table, it is 39. So it will be 2.34 divided by 39. What's the answer for this? 2.34 divided by 39? So you have 0.06. These are the moles of potassium. Then we need the moles of hydrogen. So for potassium, we need the moles of hydrogen. So we'll take a ratio. The ratio between potassium and hydrogen, that is 2:1. So if we have 0.06, then hydrogen will be X. We cross multiply. So it will be 2X is equals to 0.06, or X is equals to 0.06 divided by 2, which is 0.03 moles. Then we need the volume of a hydrogen. If we need the volume of a gas, because hydrogen is a gas, so volume of a gas is like moles equal volume of a gas in decimeter cube divided by 24. So we have the moles 0.03. We need the volume and it's divided by 24. So 24 is divided, other side it will be multiplied. So 0.03 multiplied by 24. 0. So 0.72 decimeter cube. That's a volume. But if you see the answer, the option we need the final answer in cm cube. So we multiply by 1000. So when we multiply by 1000, so it will be 720 centimeter cube. Is it clear? So for moles questions, usually the pattern is first you solve by using a formula, then you use a ratio, then again a formula. But it's not like always it is true. In some cases, some questions are a bit different. So you may not have the same pattern, but usually it's like this.